What's up, guys? This is Recruiting is No Joke Live. We are at the Fountain booth. I've got the t-shirt. I'm here with another great guest at Unleash. I am with Mr. Patrick Finn over at Rockwell Automation, representing Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Patrick, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Although my accent doesn't really represent Milwaukee, but it's okay.
Well, yeah. So where are you from originally?
So I'm originally from the UK, and then I moved over here to Milwaukee 10 years ago.
What part of the UK?
So a place called Hull in the Yorkshire area, so the northeast of the country.
Awesome. Do you know, I'm also from the UK.
You were saying that.
Blackpool.
Oh, yeah. So I went to college near there. So near Preston.
I love it. I love it. So walk me through. How did you get started in recruitment? Give me a little bit of that backstory.
Yeah, like anybody, you fall into recruitment. I don't know anyone who's said, I'm going to go to college, I want to be a recruiter when they grow up. So yeah, fell into recruitment, as they all do on the agency side.
Who are you working with?
Actually, Manpower in the UK, called Experis in the UK is one of the companies I worked for. It was a LAN at the time, and then they got bought, and then we got rebranded as Experis.
Okay.
So I worked for them. I'm again another Milwaukee connection.
So did you travel to Milwaukee then?
No, didn't have to travel. It was all in the UK. Yes, I worked for them, and then my wife's originally from Milwaukee, so we moved over here about 10 years ago, and then I decided to try going in-house for a while and see what the corporate recruitment lifestyle was like.
I love it. All right, we're both from the UK, so which one's better, like UK or the US?
I like the US, although my wife prefers the UK, weirdly. Even though she's from there. She gets homesick we lived together over there for 10 years before we moved back, and she's the one that gets homesick for the UK. I don't. I prefer it over here.
Yeah, I love it. So Rockwell Automation, walk me through what's hiring looking like. What are you responsible for?
So I have the TA director for North America and also the global process operations director for all the.
Very official.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really put that
GPO.
on my title. Yeah, I run out of space for that on my title. So all the hiring processes globally, all the fun legal stuff, all the workday compliance, all that kind of stuff. So I'm responsible for that too. So.
And how many hires per year?
We do roughly around 8,500 hires a year globally, about 2,500, 3,000 in the US.
It was interesting. We were just at a Milwaukee meetup, and I had a conversation, I think with someone maybe on your team that runs like internships. And she had mentioned that you received thousands and thousands of applications. So walk me through that. Yeah,
so we have about 200, 250 intern and early career rotational type roles a year.
Yeah.
This year we had 44,000 applicants.
Yeah, that was it, 44,000. And she said that, these are, someone's going through these. So walk me through like that strategy. How does that work?
Yeah,
I posted about it, and there were people who were like, there's no way.
Yeah, so it's a slog for them. We're looking at some certain tools, how we can, again, automate these type of things now. Again, candidate sort of attraction. It used to be everyone was panicking about the top of the funnel, and the market shifted, and now it's candidate sort of management rather than sort of candidate attraction that we have to worry about. So getting through all them is a tough. This year there's been a bit of a phenomenon called hoarding we're finding with interns, where they're accepting around sort of 5 offers each.
Hoarding? I'm learning a new trend here.
So because of the economy, how it's been the last few years, a lot of internships are pulled at the last minute.
Wow, okay.
So they're left with no internship for the summer. So what they're doing, we're finding, is they're accepting on average 5 internships, and then they decide like pretty much the week before which one they want to go to and see what they haven't got pulled or anything like that.
How often are you seeing this?
Quite a bit. Decommits are happening quite a lot. And it's not just with us, like other sort of leaders I talk to, they're seeing a lot. Decommits are up quite a lot this year compared to normal.
Which is interesting. I mean, I can think of a couple of companies that made the news for rescinding offers.
So I get why they do it.
So then how do you deal with that? Do you like overhire on internships? I mean,
a little bit. A slight overhire we kind of work out with. There'll be a few, so we can overhire a little bit and also have a lot of backup. Well, with 44,000, we've got a lot of backups. So it's, quick. Hey, we do have a role for you now. So it's a big change.
So we just had, just at UPS, we were just having a conversation, and we were talking about candidate experience. Curious thoughts on candidate experience right now.
It's
all-time
everything.
Low?
Yeah, it's got to be everything right now. That's the problem because of social media, because of everything. Like, you don't get a good experience, they're going to tell people about it, and they're going to tell their friends, and will they want to work for you? So it's a really big thing for us. We set out this year to really try, and we put sort of SLAs in place about everyone has to be contacted, whether it's at least receive a rejection email in a timely manner, or with a phone. If you have a face-to-face interview, then you've got to receive feedback and everything. So we're really trying hard with the candidate experience, but with candidate applications up, it It is hard as we're managing. We also went with a company, Paradox, for automated interview scheduling as well this year to try and help that and get people in quicker and interviewed. So it's a priority. Again, we're slightly fortunate that we're a sort of B2C company, so we're not, or B2B company rather, we're not B2C. So I think they panic a lot more because people won't buy their product if they've had an experience. There's not that many people buying industrial automation from our candidates.
I want one in my kitchen.
Yeah, we can do it. We can make anything move. Yeah, so we don't worry about it buying, but it's just the right thing to do. So we're really focusing on that.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a million tools, right? But like, I guess in your workflow and your processes, how are you like evaluating where can we use some automation? Where do we need AI? Like, what's your kind of take?
Hence why I'm here. I think they were saying that the number of tools and products have like 10x over the last couple of years that's out there. It is confusing. It is a minefield. You've got to pick the right one because you're usually locked in for a couple of years. So that's what we're doing now, is trying to figure out what can match or do we need to change our processes and find tools that can help with that. Again, we just want it to be simple. As you well know, recruiters aren't always the best at adopting these tools. They all want the tools, you give them the tool, and then you've got to get them to adopt and actually use it. So we're really looking at our tech stack, what we have now, trying to consolidate, trying to place our bets on the AI that will take away the administrative tasks, speed things up, make better candidate experience, get people in the door quicker. So that's what we're kind of focusing on now.
What would be, like, obviously a lot of the audience here as well is, recruiters that are individual contributors, maybe they're looking to move up. In terms of like AI tools, how, like, do you look at your team or like lean on your team for any of that? Or are you doing it? Like, how do you kind of value?
A little bit of everything. We just literally sent a survey out to all our recruiters about what they're hearing in the market, what would be their wish list, and then we'll evaluate it. So we just sent it all the recruiters globally as well. We have about 80 to 100 recruiters globally. We sent that out. What are they hearing in the market? What are their friends using at other organizations? What will make their life easier? Basically, we sort of put it into the different stages of recruitment, and each one, like, what do they think a tool would make their life easier and quicker and give them more capacity or give them time in their day back. So we're just evaluating that now.
Yeah, I love that, because it's, well, you got to understand that workflow, but then I love just asking people, asking the team.
Exactly.
Any use cases that like you're really excited about in terms of any tools or anything you're like, oh, I hadn't thought of that. That would be really cool. What are you excited about?
Some of the CRM stuff now is getting really evolved, and some of the like pre-matching. There was one vendor I spoke to. It was almost as the job's created before it's even posted. It'll look through your own candidate database and surface any candidates that you can then take to the kickoff call and show managers. And when you do the calibrate, like, hey, we already have these people in our system. Do you think they're any good? So it's already, before the job's even posted online, as soon as it's created, it starts running through your internal database and surfacing candidates. Again, for that kickoff call, again, trying to look like a true talent advisor when you have that kickoff call. Is like, hey, I've already got these 5 candidates for you. Let me know where you rank these, and like really calibrate on the role.
All right, I know we're kind of going backwards here. I should have asked this at the beginning, but how big is the team?
I have about, in the US, about sort of 25 recruiters, and then there's about sort of 5 operations people.
So how many recs are they managing, like each recruiter?
We've got it down. And when I first started, they were pretty high, and we were burning them out, and that was one of myself and my boss. We really thought we want to do a proper job, give them time to be true advisors, just not pushing people through the system. So we try and work around sort of 18 recs is the maximum. Based on the type of role, if it's a heavy technical engineering type role, we try and lower it a bit. But if it's one gets a lot of candidate flow, maybe they can handle a little bit more. So but we try around 18 is the sweet spot we found.
And obviously you mentioned like SLAs, building that relationship with hiring managers. Again, I talk to a lot of recruiters. That's a big issue. Like, how do we get the trust, right? Everyone's seen my memes around like the hiring manager going a different direction, all that sort of stuff. Advice for recruiters coming up in this day and age, like, how do you get that trust? How do you coach people to become an advisor?
It's know your market, know what you're talking about. Under promise, over deliver is the big one. Don't say, I'll be back. I'll go find you someone. I'll be back in a couple of days with some candidates. You have no idea. Like, you're going to do that. Like, always, say, over deliver for them. We lowered the rec volumes. We gave them time to actually have the true conversations and really focus on the kickoff call and get it right first time. Really calibrate with them on that kickoff call. There's never enough questions you can ask on that kickoff. Really take your time. Don't be just like, I want to get off the phone. I'm nervous. It's a manager. we lowered our agency spend the last 2 years to zero. From we were doing
all the agencies are just mad now.
I know. Sorry about
know
that.
some of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's definitely some Milwaukee ones are mad at me. So
sorry, guys.
Yeah, we lowered it to zero the last couple of years because we elevated the sort of recruiters to true talent advisors and built that trust. So but with trust, you get time. Whereas before, when I first started, managers were either already gone to agency before they opened a rec, and they were opening a rec with a candidate from an agency, or they were like, oh, you've not found me anyone in a week, I want to go to agency, open it with an agency. And we sort of put in place, I had to approve anything that was going to agency, and then I'd talk to the manager and explain, and with the recruiter, we just built that trust. Like, hey, we know where it is. We also very data-driven as well. We use a company called Drop, who are over here today exhibiting, to really go with the intelligence, saying that, hey, you want this hardware engineer that's got to be on site in Milwaukee, they've got to have this experience. Well, there's 50 of them and 48 of them already work here. So it was really being data driven with them and giving them true sort of milestones in the recruitment process, so they knew exactly what was going to happen and when it was going to happen, with that communication as well all the time. You can never really over communicate with them. It's when you go missing from a hiring manager is when they're like, oh, I'm going to agency, I'm panicking, they're not working on my role.
Yeah.
So it was always like, hey, I'll be back in this time. I may not have a candidate, but I'll at least give you an update. And that was, again, one of the SLAs was they have to be in touch every week with them, whether it's an email on a Friday or a phone call. It's just say, hey, this is what we've done this week. Not found anyone. These are the reasons why. Do we think we need to level up, level down, look at a salary bands, whatever? Yeah. Or, again, of the 20 requirements that you want of this, can we maybe knock 5 of them off, because that'll widen the aperture. So
it's like you say, it's being advising. But it's funny because a lot of what you're saying is also saying what candidates want, right?
Yep.
It's that transparency, that communication.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look, I've loved our conversation here. I know we're both flying home to the same area. Where can people find you? Where can people connect with you? Yeah,
LinkedIn's probably the easiest one. Yeah, Patrick Finn, Rockwell Automation.
Rockwell.
Happy.
Love it.
Happy to connect and have a conversation with anyone.
Yeah, and by the way, this was Patrick's first podcast.
It was. I don't normally do them.
Yes.
So there'll be a few people now who'll be like, well, you said you don't do podcasts, but
right.
The realist recruiter was real, so I had to do it.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you.
No problem.
Yeah,
Pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. I see you around Milwaukee.
You will.
All right.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.